sort of know what is the opponent going to do. So I guess doing the skirmishers was such a nice move by Chris, and then switching to knights just caught DauT completely off guard, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like they've launched the game. I've missed the start of the game because I had the thingy open. I need to be moved back into the game room.
Okay, let me take... I can see you there, though. Oh, no,
No,
I
I
can't
just
see you there. Okay, so I'm going to do that for you. We are in game
Cool.
1. We're just basing the first couple of minutes. Not too huge, guys. Be patient. You should be in now.
Yep,
Should be
great.
in the game
That's
room.
great.
Anyway, the rules dictate that game 4 needs to have the civilization swap between the players, and that means that this time around it's going to be Chris going for Britons, and that means that it's going to be DauT going for Chinese. Apparently, DauT did not really have such a nice start as Chris did, only now getting the first sheep. It's a little bit late, considering he's got the loom already, and do keep in mind that Chris has started collecting the sheep even before he finished loom. A little bit unfortunate here for DauT, but he's got the berries very close to the TC. He chose to put his villagers right there, and that means he's did get a little bit of food.
Yeah, I'm looking at the start here for DauT. It doesn't look great, does it? It's not as good as Chris's start in the last game. But I'm looking at DauT's map at the moment. It does look very awkward.
Awful
Mostly
gold?
due to the wood lines.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wood
And the
very
gold
far
as well.
away.
Not nice. I mean,
Go
we
ahead.
got a pause. Oh no, we don't have a pause. My bad. I thought the game was paused for a moment there. But yeah, it's a pretty open map for DauT here, and across the front especially, that main gold is going to be really awkward due to the fact it's like on the other side of the wood line. He's got a second gold on the far right. It's so far from the TC, and once again, DauT kind of getting the short straw with the map. It seemed like that perfect map in game number 1 was about all the luck he was going to get when it came to map generation. As it's not been too great for him since then. We should take a look at Chris's map, though, because it might be equally bad for him.
Now let's try to take a look at Chris's map, and I can see there's a very forward berries. There's very forward wood on the hill on top of that, so the wood definitely not the best one. The gold sort of here to the left. Also on the bottom of the hill, not ideal. I guess the map altogether is not a very closed one. I can see the right side here is a little bit open, the left side a little bit open as well. I would have to say when it comes to maps, I feel like none of the players has got a huge disadvantage. Maybe DauT, I don't know. DauT has got a very awful gold. But still, oh no, this could be a very bad thing for DauT. He does not want to lose the scout. Manages to save it. Now, I would say that DauT has got definitely the worst map, but it's not like Chris has got a wonderful one.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think either of them have a great map. I think DauT's is slightly worse, but, you know, the map doesn't dictate the entire course of the game, of course, but it did certainly influence things a little bit. Chris, though, you know, he's going to start walling up with those houses on the front, so you can see where he's trying to, well, where he's thinking about walling here. He'll try and close the gap between those two forests, close that gold into his base, and maybe close up the forests on the north as well, so that he's got a nice closed top side of his base. And then he just has to worry about the bottom side. You know, if you wall up one side of your base, you only have to defend the other side, and it makes it a lot easier if you've got quite an open map.
And this is just such a rough start for DauT once more. You could see him getting housed, and especially after being behind in the villager count already, he still got housed. Then he got a horrible boar lure. Look at what the boar landed. It's a little bit far away from the TC. That straggler there just played a trick on him. Once more, bad map for DauT, bad start. He's got the civilization, which punishes you the more by having a bad start. Yeah. Things are not going his way, but this guy is capable of pulling it off, I'm sure. Let's see. I guess, Zero, if it was me, I guess I would go for that gold at the right side. Because considering he can just drop a couple of palisades there next to it to make sure it's closed, and considering how horrible the front gold is, you might as well go for the right one.
Yeah, either that or it gets really aggressive. But the thing with the Chinese is that you don't really want to rush with the Chinese. I mean, it's not like you would never ever drush as the Chinese, but you don't normally see that kind of play. And with a map like this, it would kind of favor DauT if he could play aggressively, since that means he can actually pressure Chris and free up some safety at his own base, or create some safety at his own base. But yeah, you might be right. Maybe he'll go for the gold on the right side. Maybe he'll do exactly what Chris did and just make some lovely skirmishes instead.
Well, looks like a drush it is going to be, or then man-at-arms, which we've been seeing so often. Considering the amount of food that he's got already, he might as well try to go for a man-at-arms. Yeah, I'm not sure. Sending a couple of villagers maybe to wood. Maybe not. Maybe not. Still just gonna put a regular drush. We need to wait and see. Yeah, now looking to me like this might be a man-at-arms. Now we have to wait and see. One militia is coming out. He does have the food go up if he wants to do that. And where is he sending these villagers? I would assume to the deer. Yeah, it's going to be going to the deer. Apparently, it's a drush here from DauT. I just hope from him it's not going to be drush FC because that may be just too risky.
I think his map is too open to do a drush FC, but like I said, it's going to be able to give him a little bit of peace of mind. You know, it's going to be able to give him the opportunity to push out and keep his own economy safe while he has Chris defending. But Chris coming forward with some villagers.
Gonna go forward. Yep.
Yeah, this could be the perfect response, really. If DauT doesn't see this coming, I think he'll see the villagers.
I think he saw it, and this is where the drush is just all too good from him. I guess Chris now just needs to play the dumb and say, no, I wasn't trying to go forward, man. Just walking around here, man. That's all I was doing. What, forward me? No, sir. No way. Well, I guess DauT still needs to find the villagers. I find it a little bit awkward that he's not moving in that direction. He should know where the villagers are, and I'm not sure if he's still searching for them or he's just going back with his militia.
Trouble now. I think DauT's in trouble. He's obviously still not clicked up to the feudal age, and we've got Chris building this archery range forwards, which means doesn't have to spend as long sending his army across the map. Once again, Chris going straight into a skirmisher. He's actually not taking any gold at all. Is he going to go full skirms again? Maybe.
Very hard here for DauT. The scout has now got the +2 attack that is so deadly, can be so deadly when fighting against Dark Age units. And I'll take a look how will DauT defend from this. It's going to be really, really hard in my opinion. Of course, DauT needs to make sure he does not get any hit on those militia. And if he manages to get those to man-at-arms before Chris does anything relevant, that might be very good for him.
Yeah, especially considering Chris is going for skirmishers here. So if you can keep those guys alive and actually get men-at-arms, that would be huge. He's actually going for the gold on the north side of his base, which is very risky because while it's on a hill, it's far from the TC, and it's going to be very easily raided by Chris. Chris could drop a tower on this hill as well.
Oh, is he walling in? He's walling in the villagers from DauT. That's so nice. No, well, I guess, well, the villagers can still move and still sort of drop off the gold, but with a tower there, this is so lovely done.
Tower. Yeah, exactly. He's going to make sure... He wanted the tower there, but he wanted to make sure he had some targets to kill. That's almost 2 guaranteed dead villagers there for DauT. And Chris is in a great position now as these villagers go idle, and that's great. At this point, DauT... What's he going to do? What is DauT going to do right now?
Such fast thinking. I'm always amazed at how fast these players think. Well, I guess there's still the possibility for DauT to just delete that mining camp, but this certainly not looking like his game. He needs to delete it. A villager goes down. Maybe one of the men-at-arms is gonna go down. That tower's on the hill. It's so strong. Nicely done here by Chris. He knows he's got the advantage. He knows he could go. He just can go forward and really aggressive, taking all the advantage that he can get from the bad map that DauT has got. And I think there's nothing left from DauT other than just trying to do a couple of skirmishes himself and eventually move to that right side gold.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, deleting the mining camp there, deleting the archery range on the front. It's a lot of wasted wood for DauT at this point, and we've had situations already where DauT has been really struggling to get good wood, and we've seen how that's affected him. So, once again, wasting a lot of resources and feeling the heat as Chris pushes in with these skirmishers. And although, yes, they're not exactly the villager slayers, they are going to cause a lot of damage over time. They may find a villager here or there. They're certainly going to disrupt DauT's economy.
I think there's a hole there. Once more, DauT apparently missed that one. He's only now trying to wall the right side of his map. I like that decision. Apparently, Chris didn't really realize that, because if he did, I guess he could just walk in, and even if he won't be able to kill any villagers, he could just start walking around, right, and just getting a couple hits here and there, because DauT does not have any army.
Oh yeah, exactly. And like this point, he can stop the wall from going. Or maybe DauT will actually get a wall up here and actually stop that hole from being open. Has he even noticed though? That's what I'm wondering.
I'm not
sure. Because
he
doesn't want to leave this open. He really doesn't. As soon as Chris starts getting more units in, if Chris starts switching into archers, which he should do, that would be huge. But whoa, DauT with a small counterattack now.
Yeah, he tried to do a little bit of raiding there. Yeah. He lost. He was able to pick one of the villagers, but he lost the 3 men-at-arms, which, to be fair, were on very, very low HP. So I guess it's sort of an okay trade. But what about this trap here? This could be very, very nice. Chris is trapped inside. He's going to be walking towards the TC. No, he was too smart for that. He just moves away. I guess DauT was able to pick one of the skirmishers. He might be looking to getting another one. None of the places got the fletching this time around, and that means that killing villagers is going to be hard, but it's still not that hard to kill skirmishers.
No, definitely not. And DauT actually has a decent amount of military here. He could kill these skirmishers quite comfortably if DauT makes a misplay. If Chris manages to... if Chris makes a misplay, DauT should be able to get them. He's closing their exit route on the left side. So these guys are just walking into a dead end, and that's a great play from DauT right there.
And he's going to be able to clean out this army, even though DauT does not have the +1 range while Chris has it already. But considering that all the skirmishers are actually firing, there's not a huge advantage when those skirmishes from Chris, and that means the military is now evened out, and both players have got roughly the same amount of units. Villager count is still in favor of Chris. It's 3 villagers advantage, but I guess it's sort of okay. We could try to take a look at the resources. Apparently Chris is it's not really much far ahead when it comes to the food count. Let's take a look at the farmers. He's got 13 farmers. What about DauT? He's got 15 farmers, so I think DauT is in an okay spot.
Yeah, he is now. I mean, he shouldn't have gone for the gold on the front, I feel. I think he got a little... He thought, okay, I'm drushing. I'll probably be able to keep Chris busy, pushing back a little bit. But what ended up happening was Chris came forward, towered the gold, and now DauT's having to take the gold on the right side anyway. And so it's not ideal, but he certainly made the best of a pretty bad situation. He's pushing out, and this is looking good. Chris actually now having to wall up. He's found some sheep, lovely. That's certainly going to help him out, I'm sure.
Always helps, especially at this time of the game. 20 minutes.
Exactly. And yeah, he's walling up obviously now on the left side. He's got plenty of skirmishes in defense. He'll hug the hill, and it looks like he's pretty much fully walled up actually, so maybe not too bad for him. It's just the wood situation again. It's always the wood situation, which is not great for Chris right now.
It's a very, very bad wood situation indeed. It's such an easy spot for DauT to try to hit. He's going up the hill. Maybe not the ideal, maybe not the best of the ideas here. And he's now got 1 scout on his tail, and that means a couple of the skirmishes are going to be going down. Too many skirmishes, in my opinion. Those were 3. I guess with the archers, things are going to get a little bit easier in order to kill the scout. I guess he could kill the scout anytime now. The scout's getting closer and closer. The archers are going to be taking care of business. Going up the hill, he's, once more, he lost a couple of units. A lot more than he wished to have lost, but I guess it's okay. He's starting to add archers, and that means he's sort of thinking about going to Castle Age.
Yeah, at this stage, I mean, you have to make that transition eventually, and out now pushing Chris back a little bit. He's feeling a little more comfortable. He's, like you say, got plenty of farms up, and now switching into archers, that's going to mean he's really going to get a surplus of food very quickly. I think DauT's very close to the Castle Age now, and so is Chris as well, with Chris sitting on 450 food, 400 gold, and he's taking those 2 sheep, so it couldn't be better for Chris right now with that extra little food boost.
Yeah, I guess Chris sort of threw away his advantage by losing all those skirmishes without a decent trade, right? He didn't even kill a villager. Maybe going in was not the best of the choices. He did kill a couple of villagers with that tower, but the skirmishes did not do too much damage, and that means the advantage that he had there sort of disappeared. He now will need to send his army away because there's DauT trying to raid here from the left side, and the villagers can see that. First one to click up to Castle Age is DauT, very closely followed by Chris. So it's still a very, very open game at this point.
Yeah, it's actually incredibly close considering the difference in starts for these 2 players. I mean, it couldn't have been more different if they tried, really. And like seriously, at this stage, it's could still go either way. I mean, it's very, very close. If we look at the villager count, though, you've got to bear in mind, Chris does have 3 extra villagers. But at the same time, Chris has got those 3 villagers taking stone so that he can afford a new town center once he reaches the Castle Age. DauT, on the other hand, he's, of course, going to have that stone already, and he might be in a situation where it's going to be better for him because he can just throw down the TC straight away. He doesn't need to take the stone right now.
Once more, there was a little bit of an unnecessary move there from DauT. He just moved in with a couple of lonely units there. He just lost 3 of them, completely unnecessary. He should have stick together. There's not really much that he can do at this point because Chris seems to be wild all the way around. He's got a couple of houses, blacksmith, stone walls at the same time. Good thing here for DauT, as I just mentioned. I guess he can just move in now with the villagers, dig down that tower, try to gain the control over that forward gold. Problem for him here, in my opinion, placing down a TC on that gold is going to be very hard.
Yeah,
not to say impossible.
Yeah, very awkward. And where's his third gold? It's way out on this left-hand side. But to be honest with you, that could be okay. I mean, he could take that gold on the left because it's quite an easy wall to make between the forests and the edge of the map. So maybe DauT can take that gold quite easily later on. He's moving out
Crossbows.
right now.
Yeah, crossbows and elite skirmishers at the same time here for DauT. Same thing, the exact same thing for Chris here. DauT really needs to take care about this. He does not want to find under the hill. Well, I guess he was going to go for it. He still didn't get a single skirmisher while losing two at the same time. Needs to start trading. He's got more range. It's the time for him to just go back. No, he still does not have...
And knights from Chris. Interesting.
Yeah. Nice. Chris gonna go for knights too. Okay. Well, I guess that's a very nice option here for Chris. He's does not have many upgrades. Let's be fair. I guess he's finishing now the +2. There you go. Still missing bloodlines. I think this is the way to face a British player, in my opinion, because you know those. Well, I'm sorry, the Chinese player, because he knows that DauT is doing so much army, and he knows with a couple of skirmishes and a couple of knights, he can do so much damage, right? And I think it's one of the tendencies that I start to see in Age of Empires pro play, that players tend to go for more combos, right? They don't stick to one unit. They tend to go for more combos nowadays.
Well, I feel like this is exactly what I was saying last game. I was saying DauT should have probably gone for some knights, and he ended up going mangonels. But the thing you've got to remember here is that Chris, you know, the skirmishers, they don't benefit from the extra range that the archers do, as the Britons. And going with knights, the Brits here not having bloodlines, meaning that it's going to be pretty rough if DauT has a lot of crossbows out. And hey, DauT could even add in a stable of his own and make stronger knights in this position. So right now I'm a little concerned for Chris with this kind of play style. And maybe if he gets a good fight, maybe if those knights can do some good damage, it could be great. He's deleting his houses. Looks like he's going to go for it. And there's a lot of skirms, so that could do a lot of damage.
This fight could be very important here for Chris. If I were DauT, I wouldn't try to fight this. Just try to find a place where you can hide your skirmishers. He's going to be doing that. But he took a little bit too long. He lost too many units, in my opinion, there. And that's where the unit composition for Chris was so useful and so powerful here. Look at that. That was an amazing fight here for Chris. That means he definitely won that one. Let's try to take a look at the economy. Chris on 3 TCs. What about DauT? Only on 1 TC. He's going to be falling behind when it comes to the villager count as well. He's dropping a 2nd TC only now. He does not have the military advantage. He does not have the economic advantage. That was a very, very hard fight for him.
Yeah, I mean, if DauT had had all crossbows instead of all those skirmishes mixed in, that would have been massive. And basically, Chris is doing exactly what DauT should have done in the last game, and it's working out really well for Chris. Let's be honest here, this is looking really good. The skirms, of course, going to counter those crossbows very nicely. The knights, they can clean up any skirmishes that DauT tries to throw out. They can counter any mangonels that DauT tries to create. And Chris now looking like he's going to get very aggressive here, as he's on 3 stables, which is quite crazy.
I might need to ease back a little bit there. And what I like so much about this is because Chris went for such a complex combo. He's got skirmishers, he's got knights he can add. He did have a couple of crossbows before as well. That means that if DauT wants to counter that, he needs to start adding more combos as well, more unit composition. The problem is that DauT does not have the economy for that because he's only on 1 TC, and the amount of villagers, the amount of economy that he's got is just not enough to support many different units, right? And that means Chris in such a good spot here. There's an opening there. This could be so bad for DauT.
He still hasn't patched that bloody hole. It was there since the Dark Age. It's still there.
It has been there.
Obviously, Chris gonna go in, but DauT getting that TC up on the right side just in time to make Chris want to go back. But I think it's only a matter of time now until Chris comes forwards and drops a siege workshop or something along those lines. Maybe even a castle. He's got 300 gold, 300 stone. He's still on stone, so maybe there's an opportunity to drop a castle later on as well.
I think that's what he's waiting for. He does have a lot of gold. Is he making a market maybe to try to get that stone? Because that would be a deadly castle here for Chris. He could just place it there between the gold and the wood line of DauT, and that would be just so horrible. Anyway, this fight could be interesting here.
Yeah, he's pushing in, and this is looking good. I mean, DauT right now, obviously having to garrison inside the TC, more villager idle time, it's not ideal. But Chris can't really get in there as much as he'd like. You know, the TC is definitely providing plenty of protection for now. And I think Chris is just waiting, holding those hills. Like we've said many times, like, you know, when the hills are so far away from your town center, you either have to hold above them or you have to defend at the bottom of them. And DauT at the moment, defending at the bottom of these hills, it's not ideal.
And this fight is definitely not going to be good for DauT. I'm not sure. Why are you fighting this, DauT? I can't see a good way of this going good for you. Well, maybe I'm going to get corrected here. Well, there he goes. I just thought so many skirmishes on the top of the hill would be a very good fight here for Chris. It wasn't. So nice job there by DauT, proving me wrong, and I'm happy he did prove me wrong. That means he's going to gain a little bit of an advantage there, a little bit of breathing time for him. Looks like he's all right at home now. Is he going to drop...
I'm waiting for that castle.
Is he going to be making a castle or not? Yeah,
50 stone away. He's just built another town center on the front. But
DauT himself wants to put a castle. He's got the stone for that. It's gonna be a castle race here.
On the right side, surely.
Yep,
yeah.
Both of them at the same time. Both guys at the same time are gonna drop the castle. That means none of them is gonna have the control over the gold. I do prefer Chris's castle though, because it's on the top of the hill.
Yeah, I mean, the hill is nice, obviously, that's huge. It's funny, because neither of them are going to grab that gold still. And notice how Chris has two knights on this left-hand side, covering that second gold. He doesn't actually know that the gold is there, but that's actually a really lucky positioning for those knights. This could be huge, though. DauT moving too far away. The knights could come in and do a lot of damage, but it's looking like DauT actually has a good number of military units here, even though the dashboard is saying they have the same number.
Yeah,
it still just looks like DauT has more. I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah, I guess, yep. I guess Chris has got his units a little bit scattered around the map, maybe, because I do agree with you. This look a lot to me like DauT has got more numbers. Anyway, those seem to be very close. I guess at this point, DauT was able to realize that he can't really take control of that gold. The castle is there. It's going to be a nice position for him, but still, there's no way he can just try to gather that gold. Chris is not going to allow him with that castle over there. And Chris is the first one to click up to Imperial Age. The villager advantage is not that big, though.
Yeah, the villages are close, but this is huge for Chris right now. He's got this forward castle, he's starting some longbows, he's got 3 archery ranges coming up on this left-hand side, and like you say, he's all the way up to the Imperial Age, so this could be huge. He's going to be the first to get the Treb out, which means he should, in theory, start to win the Treb War and take out the castle from DauT, but not only that, a second castle on the hill for Chris now. This is so aggressive, and it's very, very typical of Chris. Very Chris style.
Not Chris style. I like that. Very Chris style. Well, what's even better for Chris is that not only is it the first one to go to Imperial Age, he's got the top of the hill, right? So even if they engage in a trebuchet war, Chris has always had the advantage. He's got more castles as well. It's just going to be really hard for DauT to try to stop that. Yep, I can see that.
On the stone.
I can see that at the bloodline. Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
This is huge. It's a massacre.
So many
What a perfect
villagers.
timing for Chris. Absolutely perfect timing. He's going to sacrifice a few knights to this army, but he took down so many villagers right there. That was huge.
It was a very, very nice moment to go there. He sort of knew that DauT's army was on the other side of the map, right? So he just said, okay, this is my window of opportunity. These knights are not going to be useful for a lot longer, so might as well just try to waste them as fast as I can and try to get good traits. He did get those, and of course those knights are not going to be very, very useful anymore once DauT gets to Imperial Age himself, and Chris surely is going to just be concentrating on arbalests, longbows, and skirmishers.
DauT has a real problem at the moment, though, and that's the lack of gold. He just doesn't have good gold income. The gold on the right's gone, the gold on the front is inaccessible, and the gold at the back has only just come online. So DauT cannot actually afford a trebuchet right now, and I'm worried that if he can't afford trebuchets, how is he going to win the Treb War? Because you see Chris already in the Imperial Age queuing 2 trebuchets immediately, and DauT, he hits him, but he can't afford a trebuchet, which means that that castle is almost certainly going to go down unless those rams on the right side inside of those siege workshops can do enough damage.
Yeah, right, and that's one of the big advantages from Chinese over Britons, right? They do have siege rams, where Brits only have capped rams, and maybe he will try to gain advantage with those. But before those can be really useful, he needs to try and get rid of those cavalry units, because those can kill the rams so fast. He's moving in with the rams a little bit unaccompanied. I'm not sure I like this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I like this.
Go back, man. This is not good because those knights can easily clean the rams up. All he has to do is go back with the Knights, but he's going to commit to fighting the army on the left side. Maybe he's not seen these Rams yet. That's going to be a huge loss for DauT on that left side, I think, as the Arbalest at the back hammering in the damage. Those Rams closing in, but I think they're going to go down. The
Yeah,
castle from
I
DauT
think
will
so
fall.
too. I think so
Yeah.
too. I mean, I do understand the idea. He was trying to keep Chris busy at the left side while trying to go in at the same time with the Rams. He was able to get a trebuchet, but that's just about it. I don't think he's gonna get anything else. Those Rams are gone. He doesn't have any more military units. It's 40 against 20, and it's looking very much like Chris's game at this point.
Yeah, that was a huge win for Chris on that left-hand side, holding the hill there. And now, of course, he did lose the 2 trebs, but he took down like 8 or 9 Rams with him. He's still got a few Knights, and now, of course, DauT, GG.
GG is calling, and that means there's a 3-1 here for Chris. A little bit surprising for me. Somebody who just tuned in might have thought that this has been a very easy series for Chris, and that Chris is just playing a lot better than DauT. That's certainly not what happened here. A big part of this was just the luck that Chris had, or just the bad luck that DauT had in his maps, right? But Chris, what I did like a lot about him, he was just not playing standard. He was just doing surprising things that DauT wasn't expecting.
Yeah, I agree. Chris's playstyle was really nice this series of games. I mean, all the games that he won, he was just ahead strategically, I feel. Especially in this one right here. The addition of the Knights is not something that you typically expect from a Brit player, but it made so much sense, and it worked so very well for Chris in that final game. So what played to Chris? A 3-1 victory. And yeah, I mean, I thought it would be at least, you know, a 4-game series here. I was hoping we would have seen 5, but well played by both. Chris just grabbing the upper hand there, and good games.
Really well played by Chris, I gotta say. He surprised me so much, and very, very nice. Looks like Chris is gonna give us the honor of an interview here.